Hey guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different, and it is basically for a certain person, and this person is my grandmother. And you will see this tomorrow, but tomorrow is March 1st, 2016, and this was the day that she was born. 67 years on this earth. 67 years for probably the greatest person like in my life. Ever since this will be some stories. I had no money to get you something to eat. I had no money to get you clothes, but I'm making this so it can make up for it. But let's talk about some stories. A particular one when I was 5, and during that period of time, mom and dad kind of gone their separate ways, and I had nowhere else to go. But the one person who took me in was grandma, my grandmother. I call her grandma. And when I was little, always when I was crying, always sang to me in a rocking chair, held me, always sang to me and everything. She taught me life. She taught me what's good from bad, what's right from wrong. She basically really helped me becoming a better person. And to always have faith, and to always trust, and to always believe in anything I did. Whenever I had panic attacks and anxiety attacks, the one person who was always there for me was grandma. I remember a particular day when I kind of went out of control and I couldn't sleep. And I was shaking, and I was so scared out of my mind. And I went in there in her room, and she said, "Come lay by me." And she held on to me. This is when I was like 17. Still held me like I was just 5 years old. She prayed to me, and she helped me sleep. And yeah. This is made because I love you so much. I love you so much, Grandma. And when you see this, I hope this makes you smile. It makes you happy. Because I was trying to do like a documentary kind of thing with having all the family say why they appreciate you, your best moments with you, and tell you happy birthday. But time constraints, I couldn't find half the family, and half the family lived far away from me. But I know deep down in their hearts, they're saying happy birthday. And so I didn't want to give you nothing. I didn't want to give you a text saying, "I love you, happy birthday." I want to make you something. Like I can't really cook. I can't really buy anything right now. I can't take you out to eat. But the one thing I'm good at is putting this camera in front of me and talking. So right now, this camera is you. I'm looking right at you. And I wanted to make this because, honestly, you're probably the most special person that I know. And deep down, to me, deep down, I didn't have mom there, and I didn't have dad there. It's not their fault. But I always had you there. When I go to your house, every time I'm there, every weekend I go there, I always say to myself, I'm home. Because 5 to 18, I was always there, and I was always a grandma's boy. We always watched movies. We watch Thunder games. It's hilarious watching you go crazy with Thunder games. And we drive everywhere. We eat a lot. You, uh, money, money can't really show you how much you mean to me. I can buy you, I want to, so bad. Whenever you buy me anything, everybody who buys me anything, you just bought me a good laptop. And every time you buy me something, I say to myself, how bad I want to repay you back for everything you've done for me. For me being just a little boy to an adult. But you taught me everything. Everything. To me, you're like a second mom who always took care of me. Whenever I'm sad, I'll talk to you, I'll call you. When I'm feeling lonely, you're always there for me. Try not to be in the sad department right now. But you mean so much. And 67, you're getting up there. One day it's going to be 70. Maybe 80. You used to always tell me and my brother and sister that your dad would love us to death. I want to let you know that whenever I have kids, whenever I have a daughter or a son, I'll tell them that if one day, this is life, this is a natural thing, one day when you're not here, I'll let them know that the grandma would love them so much, so much. She would have spoiled them rotten. Let's talk about some happy things. Happy things I spoke earlier about. The Thunder games. Every Thunder game, whenever I come to your house late or I'm downtown and I come to your house late, you're always in the front room. I hear the TV on and you hear the commentators on the basketball and the Nike shoes and Jordan shoes making the squeaking noises. And you're over there cheering and going crazy. Last week when Golden State faced Thunder, we had the funniest reaction when I think it was Durant that shot and he made it, and then you're just like, and I was looking at you, you're just like, because you're so excited that he made it. But sadly we lost, and the whole night you just couldn't stop talking about how much you're like, man, I wanted us to win. Man, I wanted Thunder to win. It was so funny. It's fun watching Thunder games with you. And watching movies. All the time I always drag you or we'll go buy a movie or rent one. We watched The Guest. Not The Guest, The Gift last weekend. And if you haven't seen The Gift, it's kind of a mystery, psychological horror movie. And we're watching it. There was a scene where like a jump scare happened. Me and you were like, ah! We screamed so hard. It was so funny. It was probably the funniest moment ever. It was so hilarious because it happened twice. Me and you just jumping out our seat, almost having heart attacks. It was so funny, man. And I always tell you this, but when we drive to drive-thrus, I always tell you this. So one day when you're gone, I'm at your funeral. I'm gonna talk about the days me and Grandma were at the drive-thrus. Her yelling at everybody, having arguments, having arguments with all the employees and going nuts and being angry about them. I told when that happens, it's gonna be the funniest thing ever. And yeah, since when I had my first breakup, you were there. When I had my second, you were there. And third, you were there. When I didn't know better, you were there. When I not in a good place, you were there. When I wanted to leave this earth, you were there. Always, you were always there, and you still are. And I tell myself this all the time. When I go to your house every weekend, every Sunday, it's the worst day of my entire life because when I have to leave you by yourself, and everything always goes through my mind. What if I'm not there and something happens? Or something happens to you and I'll blame myself. And I always hate leaving because, man, I always have the best times with you. Ever since I was in the teens, 13 on up, well, not 13, around 17, I was living with my aunt and uncle. Every weekend, it was an hour drive. You always come and pick me up. Or if you saw me post something, I would say I'm hungry. And that one day you came by and said, I didn't want my little baby to starve. And things like that. Man, sometimes I don't believe, and sometimes I just don't believe I deserve all of that. You made me into a good person. I mean, you had your highs and lows when you were younger. But the person you became was probably the greatest person ever. From the days raising mom, days raising uncle and aunties, raising me, my brother and sister. You're the greatest person ever. Battling cancer more than once. The strongest person ever. Always beating out the odds. Always standing tall. And always smiling. Exercising. Having a fun time. Being with family. You are the greatest person in the entire world. And I love you to death. And I wanted to make this video because I love you so much. And I wanted to wish you a very happy birthday. I wanted to wish you the greatest and the best birthday tomorrow. I may not be able to make it, but I made this just in case. I love you so much. And I'll see you this weekend. Happy birthday, Grandma. I love you.